Hello guys, Crispy here, welcome back to another video. In this one, my friends, I'm gonna be testing a GeForce GTX Titan X Maxwell in ARK Performance Descended, yes. So why am I testing a GTX Titan X in this game, I hear you ask? Well, it's because in ARK Survival Evolved, this was the recommended GPU for 1080p epic settings preset. So it's gonna be very interesting to check it out in the new game. Moving on, this one is a reference design version of the card. We are running it with the latest Nvidia drivers, which it still supports, even 8 years later. Nice. And I'm also overclocking it a little bit, as you can see right here. And over in Tech Power-Ups GPUs, you can see all of the GPU specs. So we got 12 gigabytes of GDDR5 memory. That's a pretty hefty amount for a 2015 GPU. And 3072 CUDA cores. How cute. Finally, over on the left, we're pairing it with a Ryzen 9 7950X3D and 32 gigabytes of RAM, DDR5, 6000 MHz CL30. Of course, these are very overkill specs for a Titan X, but, you know, it will get the same performance with a slower CPU as long as you don't bottleneck the card. So let's get right into it, shall we? Well, guys, I spent like 15 minutes getting black screens and crashes left and right, and it turns out this game hates overclocks, so I needed to remove the GPU overclock. Very sad, guys. But moving on, it's time for us to create our character. Is there like a greenish skin over here? That would be pretty nice, you know. It's an Nvidia card after all. We got red for AMD cards. Why don't we have green? Now, since we're playing with a Titan, we want him to be very big, of course, and very muscly. Oh, yes, that's exactly... What happened with his legs? Like, skip leg day much, huh? Aside from this part, okay? So we need him to be super strong, of course, because we want the Titan to still be viable, right? I want to get very high FPS, so we need the muscles. There we go. This is our boy right now. Yes, it's the Titan. You look at him and you instantly recognize this is the old Titan. The Titan X in this case, because the other one, I don't think he will launch this game. Anyway, shut up. Let's go. All right, so we should probably go through the settings. Yeah, I totally forgot about that. I'm sorry, guys. So right now we're playing at 1080p using 58% resolution scale because this is the low settings preset, all right? Which sets anti-aliasing to medium. It doesn't really affect FPS by much, but these over here do affect FPS like crazy. The general shadows, global illumination, and the foliage. And of course, I am gonna disable them in just a little bit. I just wonder if we should actually play at like 100% resolution scale first. Yeah, let's try that out. Oh, it has this bug as well. So it wasn't only on the 6700 XT that this was happening. Anyways, this is 100% resolution scale, so it's native 1080p. It still looks pretty pixelated. I wonder if it actually applied the 1080p native resolution. Like, what the hell? Yes, it is. Okay. So maybe it's because I am using a 4K monitor. It looks a little bit rough. But yeah, it's below 30 frames per second at the low settings. But low settings look very good in this game. And I guess when Survival Evolved came out, this was probably doing these FPS at 1080p epic settings, native resolution as well. So it's not completely terrible. What? Did I just die? What is happening? What did you do to me? Why is there an eye at the bottom of the screen? There we go. Okay. I'm gonna go. Shut up. Leave me alone. Leave me alone. I'm gonna kill you. Yes. Oh, I'm dead. So interestingly, the game isn't really stuttering too much. Maybe they've actually fixed some of the stuttering issues that it had. Of course, it will still have those traversal stutters and loading the shaders and so on. But it is not as terrible as in my 3060 Ti video. I think it was stuttering a little bit more in that game. Or maybe I'm just getting used to this crap. I don't know. 20-something frames per second is absolutely awful, of course. And lowering the resolution scale to, like, for example, 67%, which would be FSR quality, for example. Unfortunately, this game doesn't support FSR yet. Will put us at 30 frames per second while looking pretty similar to what we saw previously. Oh no, look at my body right now. Ugh. Now I cannot run. I want to die. Come on, please. Let me die, game. Let me die. I can't even jump right now. Oh my god, I can see a lot of ghosting on the leaves and stuff, the grass as well. It's so terrible when you're using resolution scale in this game, especially at 1080p, you know. And if it isn't DLSS looks awesome in this game. It actually looks better than native res in my opinion. Is that a little poop right there? Yes, it is. Finally, we found poop. So it's possible to get 30s even without going into the console commands, even without dropping the settings to the lowest possible in the menu. So I guess it's not as terrible as I thought it would be, because this is Unreal Engine 5 on an 8-year-old GPU that was definitely not meant to run Unreal Engine 5. Now let's try this on the absolute lowest, okay, right here, and I'm also going to disable the light bloom right there, and this is it. It's still 58% resolution. Wait, it wasn't 58%. I set it to 67. Why are you at 58? Sometimes this game disagrees with you when it comes to the resolution scale, and you have to double check. Oh boy, it actually crashed. I think so. Yes, it just crashed, my friends. Alright guys, we're back at it. 1080p resolution, 100% resolution scale. I made sure that it's at 100% by going to the game, going back to the settings menu. There we go, it's at 100% at the moment. And these are the lowest settings inside of the game. Alright, without going into console commands and stuff again. So let's start counting the FPS. This looks way more similar to what... I'm pretty sure that one is not supposed to fly. Holy crap. Oh my god, these are some huge dinos. Whoa! What? Okay, well, you're destroying the forest, you know. I kind of like to take a look at... God damn it, at the FPS inside of forests with a lot of vegetation and stuff, but you guys are just destroying everything. Can I kill it, by the way? Oh, it's a terrible idea for us to do that. Yes, okay. So now, oh my god, we're at native resolution. You know, remember when I said it wasn't stuttering as much and it's actually reasonable? No, it's completely terrible, actually, in terms of the stuttering. But yeah, now we're at native 1080p resolution and we're getting 30 plus frames per second on average. I don't think it will ever drop from 30, actually. Let's check out the water, because that's really intensive as well. Oh boy, oh, everything is shaking like crazy. Oh boy, no, it's actually dropping still. No, 27 and 28. You know what? I'm pretty sure this card could play Survival Evolved, which looked 10 times better than this crap at these settings that we're playing at the moment. At like 1080p high settings with 60 frames per second. If not 60 on high, maybe 60 on medium for sure, because I remember 1060 to be able to do that. Imagine you have a Titan X and you're used to playing Survival Evolved with decent graphics and decent FPS, and you come into this one and you're seeing drops into the 20s with worse graphics and more stuttering. Okay, looking in this direction, we're getting 30 frames per second, and I want to see how much of an improvement we can get by using the console commands. So first, I'm gonna use the r.nanite.max pixels per edge, and this one is set to 1 by default. If I set it to 1, it doesn't change anything, of course, but I'll set it to 4, which will affect the LOD distance of a lot of things. But if you're not really seeing things side by side, I mean, it still looks similar to what we saw previously, right? And the next one that I'm going to utilize is the volumetric clouds. So volumetric cloud, so this one is set to 1 by default, which is on, and I'm going to turn them off. And as you can see, holy crap, that makes a huge difference to the visuals, but we get 10 more FPS once again. Basically, we have no clouds, but we got blue skies, so if you like the blue skies more, well, maybe you like these graphics more, and now we can finally get 30 plus frames per second. Alright, over here, it still drops into the low 30s, bro. What the heck? Oh, gosh. Okay, so it's still really intensive, even without the clouds as well as the nanite stuff. I'm also going to disable volumetric fog and see what difference it makes. So we're getting 45 frames per second. I'm going to set volumetric fog to 0, and we're getting 45 frames per second. I'm also not seeing any volumetric fog at the moment. When I disabled the clouds, I think it also disabled the fog. So maybe with the latest update, they actually bundled those two settings into the same volumetric cloud setting. So if you disable volumetric clouds, volumetric fog is gone as well. Or maybe it's because we are using the absolute lowest settings already. The fact of the matter is volumetric fog and volumetric clouds are disabled. Let me just turn on volumetric clouds. Yep, there it is. You can see like the fog over there. It's clearly visible. And I'm gonna set the volumetric fog to 0. Please, come on, are you serious? I was looking at... And you're gonna stop there as well. Oh my god, bro. Seriously? There we go. You can see the fog right there. I'm gonna set it to 0. Does not do anything. So the fog and the clouds are bundled together this time around, as you can see. So this way we can actually achieve like 60 frames per second sometimes. Please touch 60. Come on, FPS counter, you can do it. Titan X, please do it. With an overclock, we would be at 60 probably, sometimes, very rarely. But we would touch 60 for sure. But again, I can't overclock in this game. It instantly crashes every single time. It's so annoying, man. Anyways, it's possible for you to play ARK Survival Ascended with the GTX Titan X. Still, you just gotta make it look like complete garbage. That's so sad, dude. But the sadder part is they actually closed the servers in Survival Evolved, right? Like, at least my friend has told me so. But I mean, at the same time, not only did they close the servers on the other game, which performed far better and looked better at the same time than this, using these settings, you know, they also made this one super intensive. I don't know what they're gaining with this, honestly, guys. A lot of people are on 1060s, 1650s, 1650 supers, 970s, 980s, RX 580s, RX 570s, and 480s, and so on. And now they can't really play this game. If all of the future games run like this, I would much rather have older engines. Alright, now that we played on low settings, I kind of am curious to see how it performs on epic settings. It recommends the RTX 4070 and up. I'm gonna leave it at 90% resolution scale as well, because that's the default for a 4070, I guess. And here we go. Oh boy. Okay, this is still with the console commands in place, and it's getting 13, 12 FPS. Yep. So the epic settings GPU in Survival Evolved is getting 10 frames per second, 10 to 15, I guess, in this one at the same settings. That's crazy. I'm gonna enable the volumetric clouds again, as well as the nanite stuff, my friends. This is it. Okay, and with these settings we get single digits with the default epic settings in the game and 90% resolution scale, which again is the default. Whoa! I guess you could actually take screenshots still, but moving around is very difficult like this. And if you notice that VRAM utilization, it's still under control, so the 12 gigabytes are holding up fine on the Titan X. It's just that the rest of it is just... we can't really blame the card, can we? It's the game. Oh, I needed to reload the map for changes to take effect, but I can't really reload the map because I'm gonna tell you guys, every time I set the graphics preset to epic, it doesn't load. It crashes. So, can't really do much about that, can we? Oh boy. Okay, so I'm gonna set it to the lowest again, my friends, alright? And lastly, my friends, let's take a look at 4K resolution just for funs, alright? This is the lowest settings, and the console commands are already applied, no fog or clouds, and the nanite stuff is set to 4. And as you can see, at native 4K resolution, things are terrible as expected. It's getting 12 frames per second. It looks terrible. It's sharp, but it's pretty terrible. So this is definitely nothing that you should consider, obviously. Lastly, let's do 50% resolution scale. Just gonna make sure that it applied. There we go. It is at 50% this time. And yeah, it's still not enough. We still get cinematic frame rates. Well, at least you can get a cinematic experience at 4K resolution with terrible graphics, though. So yeah, that's been it for this one, my friends. Thank you very much for watching it. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't already. I hope you enjoyed this little look at the Titan X in Survival Ascended. See you in the next one. Love you all. Bye-bye.